here's what I'll do. I'm going to read something I wrote, and it's actually about Tracy's dad and a friend of mine. This is a biography of a man named Samuel Ledden Bernstein. He was a baseball player. He's 95 years old, still alive. I visit him occasionally, and I wrote his biography. So what I'm going to do is read a little bit about him and his relationship with Tracy's dad. Ledden, being the youngest boy, always felt inferior and also felt he was taken for granted as the kid brother who was different, even though he loved and admired his older brothers. Stories abound in regard to his jumping off trains, fighting every day, and always getting hurt. Mom would tell the visiting relatives all the things Sammy had done. He could be a real pain in the butt to his mothers and brothers. He would start fights in the house and tease until his brothers chased him upstairs into the bathroom. He would jam a foot against the tub and the door. When they realized they couldn't get to him, they went away and their anger cooled. He could be a real brat. Even in the first grade, he was always getting into trouble. On Parents' Day, his mom had to suffer the consequences. In this class was his lifelong friend, A.B. Kaufman. What a great human being. He worked his whole life and had grown up without a father also. A.B.'s mother was told by the teacher, A.B. is the nicest kid in class. And then Yetta was called up and had to hear, I'm sorry, but Sammy is so bad, so rough. Mom turned around and said, Sammy, why can't you be good like your friend A.B.? They loved to tell this story as they grew older because A.B. turned out to be a professional boxer who fought the great Ike Williams and the world champion Willie Pep. In kindergarten, Ledden had been so bad that the teacher actually tied him up with a rope. And I see a typo. He had been punching a bully from a higher grade. He had to wait until the afternoon teacher came in to untie him. Irish A.B. got his nickname after beating a highly regarded opponent from a neighborhood church. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy. The local priest and fight promoter were so impressed, they gave Kaufman a pair of boxing trunks. One side was Kelly green with a harp. The other side was blue with a Jewish star. He dropped out of high school, Central High School, and with a possible scholarship for baseball waiting, he had played some semi-pro as a switch hitter for $3 a game and even batted against Satchel Paige to fight for $25 a match in 1934. His father had died 6 years earlier, and 4 cousins had moved in with the family of 6 after their parents had died. A.B. had red hair and blue eyes and could pass for an Irishman. He turned pro in Baltimore and fought as a feather and a lightweight until the mid-40s, fighting as often as possible. He would get about $200 a fight for 8 rounds. His largest purse was $1,000 against Tony Rios in San Antonio, Texas. He was a bleeder, but the refs knew he could take it, so they would let him continue. They knew he was a fighter who could go the distance. Kaufman was only knocked down 5 times and never knocked out in well over 200 bouts, amateur and professional. A.B. used to tell his mother that his injuries were from football and basketball because fighting was not permitted. At age 60, Irish A.B. proved once again that he was no quitter when he pursued and finally earned his high school diploma. And that is Irish A.B. Kaufman. Can you say it? All right. Now, I'd like to read a couple poems. I wish I had known your father. I really do. I know my friend Elliot, who was supposed to come tonight, tells me stories all the time, and Eddie does too. And I never knew him, but I wish I had. I wanted to read and I've been waiting 25 years to do this. My father died 25 years ago. I published in a book some of his poetry, and I've always wanted to read it in public, so here goes. These are a little romantic, so kids, don't pay attention. Well, maybe you'll learn something.
Now you finally got their attention.
Maybe not that romantic, but we'll see. Okay. The first one's called The Spirits of the Night. Give us but a song to sing, and we'll sing of your desire. The world of dawns and eves and dark, the world of night and shadows, the world of time between the times, the world of dreams is ours alone. No sooner do we move than stop, no sooner do we wake than sleep, no sooner than we know the light, no sooner that we look for dreams. Wideness breaks beneath the cloud's edge, colors approach the staring eyes, winds roll about the turning curves, lights flash on and off. Ours is the kingdom of dreams, the thoughts of men as no men are, the sea of earth and crumbling waves, the diamond dust of memory. This one's called In What Distant Deeps. Are we not alone, beloved, in this world of delight? Are we not alone, beloved, beneath the eyes of the night? The burning bush, our lips are made of song. The burning bush, can ever love be wrong? Who else but we know of this spot, this ground unbroken but well worn? Who else but we know of this spot, now sinful and forlorn? When we were one, my love, was there then any shame? When we were one, my love, how was it then love came? This one's called Vanity. In this wild, lost age, wherein love has come and stayed, and will not leave, and whisper steadily, you must believe, you must believe. The vainness in my heart came to the fore, now bold, strong, unafraid, songless, it went ahead to boast. I know no God beside myself, I, this sick fool that pride has made. This one is called For Why She Sighed and Bade Me Come Tomorrow. Tomorrow night, when I see you again, and when we are walking hand in hand, I will be strong again. Tomorrow, while I extend my fingers through the sand, when I stretch out to feel the solid land, and we glorify our broken rhyme, giving to the wind and care of time, pouring from the cup of nightly sorrow, all that would have been enjoyed insane. Or roses grown profane, close on the wall, like red lips enfolding in petal flame. The purity we knew before the fall, when life and love were one in call, and for tomorrow we'd play a game. Should I go a couple more?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. This one's called Streets of War. This is not romantic. When I was 13, I watched the men march away, not in some unfamiliar land along a foreign road, but on the avenue in Brooklyn, past the crowded stores, and past East 16th to the statue and the sign to City. On dull Tuesday mornings, very early in the day, whole bodies of men in rough sports clothes, walking in broken step, but no great files, along the center of the street with no cars, and everyone's head out, most to watch and a few to pity. These were the men from the houses at the next street, from the crowds that once moved back and forth from the train, even a few who were really known by name and life, and the barbershop boys and those from Callahan's bar, all somehow unreally going to fill the draft and fight a war. I never believed in them, but I watched excitedly. And like in any small town, we of Gravesend, Brooklyn, wondered a bit, where'd they all go? So many at once, every week, down the street, and to a war far off for us, and yet right here in my neighbor's house. It took some time and another war for me to go down that same street, and then I only went with a friend, and not to fight a war, but to stall a broken peace. And I think I have one more for you, and maybe two. Am I still good on time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I left my watch over there.
Okay. This one's called Melancholy Echoes. Forsake thy game, O death, and come and stay with me. My angels will depart and go in fear of thee. Yes, come to stay, O death, and never shall ye part, for there are empty chambers within my lonely heart. Your form I wish at hand, your presence and your might. No fear can I have then, for your fires will burn bright. So make thy being known and crouch upon my chairs, for you can be my friend, but I do not want your wares. And let's see here. This one I hope I can manage. This one's kind of complicated. I come to speak for the many. Oh, it's called Song of the Reference Book. I come to speak for the many. I am as old and well-worn as any. The old calfskin is powdering, yet strong, bound still. They are not withdrawn and remain in use. There are 1,000 shelves and 10,000 tombs, 100,000 more. Each is a universe in itself, of farming and earth, of growth and harvest, wind, weather, and the clouds, of the politic, romance, the love of all classics, mingling on a shelf. I speak for the epigram and classic, for the brown, crisp-stained pages of my youth. I am the quarto, folio, duodecimo, the standard size octavo, bound or loose. I am the patent, the play, the player, the life of these and lives within. I am science, dusting German, physic, my God, a holocaust of shells. I am subject in man, sexless, sexed, devoted to all needs. The journal, essay, report, proceedings of 100 meets. I am record and recorder, laughter and folly, ground deeds. In me there is song and spirit, the lighthearted and gay, humor and sadness. I am productive. I embrace all things. Smith, Mather, Diaz, Twain, Luther, Whitman, Cervantes, Tolstoy, Omar, the named, the living, the dead, the real, past and future. Dickens, Shakespeare, Ramuz, Darwin, Thales, everyone who wrote and of whom was written. The biblical, the modern, the historic, the literary, the liberal, libertarian, licentious, the luxuriant, the lover of all mankind. Text and cover, painting, artist, photo, portrait, illustration, picture of the world. The used history, the misplaced, displaced, the paper laws of an ancient senate. Row on lonely row, the walls of the stack lined in thick tiers, a myriad of sizes, the bewilderment of language, government, the unknown series, the quiet, lonesome covers edge to edge. I am classed, managed, moved, unread, but I am also the well-worn, the warm, friendly carrier and messenger. In the end, only my importance matters, only what I divulge and record. Only I rule. I am the well-worn page set in a neat black type. I am for the scholar, the student, lover's eye. I inhabit the reader, commune with his sons. Only I rule. I transcend my physical ties, my paste and paper, my dark marks on a whitened, thin wooden slat. There is little doubt of the form of my cosmos. An expansion, inclusion, rigid and shifting. I may burn or be lost, but I am yet bound in leatherette and sewn with cord, marked and set free. And that's it. And I apologize for mispronunciations if I did it.